Hello and welcome back. We're here today in North Park at Dadmom's boutique, and we're going to be doing a little bit of work today. So right now, Alden and Andres are prepping this second tier of windows right here to have XPEL's Dark Neutral 25 installed on the windows. And we're just going to try to give him some daytime privacy because he's right off of this main street right here. And so he just wants to make sure that while he's up there in his office that he's not people are just looking straight at him and watching him all day. And so the other option, or the other thing we're doing is this is a little storefront right here, and there is a existing security film that's installed on all of these windows, but the door was done incorrectly. Let me show you what I mean by that. Hold on. Okay, there's a security film that's installed on here, and it's what you can see right here. This is called BondKap. BondKap is just something that kind of hides the structural silicone that we use. The structural silicone binds the security film, the glass, and the frame together. The first thing they did wrong here is you see this little space? That's called a stop, a door stop, and it goes all the way around, and it just sits on there by pressure. Okay, pressure fits in there. So if you attach security film to the doorstop, if somebody were to break this glass and kick it in, the film, the glass, and the stop are just gonna pop out. So that's the first wrong thing that they did. The second wrong thing that they did, they didn't even attach the silicone and the film together. Hold on, watch this. Okay, so they didn't even install security film all the way to the edge. So the silicone that they put on here was more to hide the edge than it was to bind anything. But look, they were short on their film. You can see, here's the edge right here. Okay, right here. This is where the edge of the film was, right there. Okay, and the silicone was above that. Well, the film should have been to the edge, and the silicone should be going over the film by about the thickness of my finger. And as you can tell, they did not do that. And also, it's just a terrible, not very clean install. That's why they had to use the BondKap. So today we're going to be installing XPEL's Neutral 35 8mm film. It's going to put a little tinting on here, but we're going to do it the right way. We're going to pull all this off, pull it apart, take the stops off, and install the film from the edge of the glass, which is behind the stop, to the edge of the glass, all four sides. And then that structural silicone, we're going to put behind the frame and bind the frame over the film. That will be the best way to do this. Stick around and I'll show you what that means. Okay, so all the trim pieces are off. And you can see now there's a gap here. Here's the edge of the glass. And before, the film was stopping about here. And so that's a whole inch short of the edge of the glass. And so we're going to install film all the way to the edge, trim it on the edge, and then we're going to use something called backer rod and shove it in here to fill up that gap. So that way when I put silicone on here, I don't have to use just cartridges and cartridges of the silicone because it's expensive and it's heavy duty. So we just want to make sure that we have enough 995 to touch this and the glass and the film, and then this guy will go back on top of it. All right, everything is back on there and installed. The black that you see on there is the silicone that comes from in the glass itself. And we put all the spacers back in, and you would never know that this has any sort of a security film on it or any type of film on it. All right, so here's the outside, and like it really doesn't look any different on the door, even though it's literally 50% darker than it was before. And so that is the XPEL Neutral 35 8mm security film. And then up top, you could see the difference from the second floor and the third floor. The second floor, that is XPEL Dark Neutral 25.